What is up, guys? Welcome to the Transparency. Nothing like a Sunday morning. What is up, Mod Squad? How you feeling? I got a great live debate today. Check it out.
My reputation in the neighborhood, I was a scapegoat. Nobody would think that I wasn't the ringleader in this situation because of my reputation. So it was so easy to pin it on me. When Timmy Patrick went to DeMarcus and them that day, they said he threatened them, and this was their first cousin. And who got the best deal? DeMarcus and Rico. So I really don't know, Lana. I really haven't thought into it as much as you are.
Yeah.
From Pennsylvania State Correctional Institution. Green. This call is subject to recording and monitoring.
He was Brandon's football coach, so they had a relationship. Me and Timmy Patrick never had a relationship. Even after that shootout.
And this is all because of that Ross?
No, I think it was more so about my mother more than anything. That whole situation with Jamie Brown and all that. And my mom never let Timmy off the hook. I think they threw that out there just to say that they tried to give me a deal, but they know me. This wasn't my first rodeo. They knew I wasn't gonna tell on nobody. They knew that wasn't even an option. It didn't matter what type of plea deal they tried to give me. They knew that wasn't an option. Shit, I could have told on my co-defendant and got a deal, but that wasn't an option.
I got you. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, your only option was that they wanted to know something about another case that had nothing to do with your case.
Right.
And did you tell Benyo that you wanted to take the stand when you testified, or was it like, did he ask you? How did that go?
I told Benyo I wanted to take the stand.
How did he feel about that? Was he like, or was he like, yeah, no, I think you're going to have to tell your story because did he feel...
No, that was the thing. You got to tell your story.
Exactly. I knew that he was going to use those words. You have to tell your story because... Okay.
I was okay with that. At the end of the day, I knew that what I was saying on that stand was the absolute truth. The DA tried to trick me up and everything, and it wasn't working. She came to Benyo afterwards and said, yeah, your client did good, but I still don't believe him.
Sunset Secrets Season 4, coming 2023. Good morning, everybody. How are we doing? What is up? Mod Squad, all the members, all the subscribers. Good morning. You guys got your coffee on? What are we doing here? I'm actually going to have a very special guest here around like 11:45. I'm going to be talking to Mr. Dayvon here live. This also ties into everything that I'm doing in Alquipa. I'm going to give you some back story on it. Once you guys hear from him, I wanted to start this live feed a little early. That way when he calls in, everything can be ready. So again, good morning to everybody. Octavia, we got to get that merch. We'll get that merch in line. Alice from Pittsburgh. How you doing, honey? How you doing? I have the probable cause affidavit so this is actually like what everybody's watching for Alan to get released. This is what I have. This is Dayvon's, and I'm going to read you what his affidavit of probable cause was back when this all went down in 2005. November, right before Thanksgiving, 2005. And this is what we're all waiting for to be released in the Ricky Allen Delphi homicide. So Dayvon's been in prison and incarcerated basically since November of 2005. It's November of 2022 right now. And he had co-defendants. All of his co-defendants except one served like a year or two or probation. And one of his co-defendants was Brandon Rivas. Now, Brandon Rivas' name was mentioned last night. If you guys checked out the episode last night, Brandon Rivas was listed as Gilliam's shooter in the 2016 his homicide that came out in 2022 after my leaks of stuff to do with Gilliam's case. They hurry up and jumped on upping the reward to make it seem like that had something to do with it. And then saying a confidential informant came forward, and next thing you know, they're issuing, a warrant for Brandon Rivas's arrest in the killing of Savante Gilliam. That was in 2016. Then the next homicide that comes about was the Rachael DelTondo murder in 2018, still unsolved to this day. Then in 2020, Tyreek Pugh is murdered. But all of this stuff that's going on with, as far as Dayvon goes, he's very respectful. He owns anything and everything that he's ever done. But he's also gonna, he says, Miss Lana, I'm not gonna say I did something I didn't do. But going after him, he was the only one not sought out to be interviewed by Timmy Patrick, one of the detectives in Beaver County. Timmy Patrick was involved, and it had stuff to do with the Nime Jamie Brown stuff in 2001, where they got Dayvon's mom to basically lie and say that Jamie Brown told her that he wanted to kill cops and stuff like that. She then recanted her testimony, and ever since she recanted, not too long after, she had testified, because she felt that bad. She did him that wrong because he never said that. And so she came forward to recant. Well, her name's Rachael Lee, and that is Dayvon's mom. And in Aliquippa, you see a lot of things. If you can't get somebody, you go for their loved ones. And this situation in 2005, which you're going to hear all about, presented an opportunity for Timmy Patrick to stick it to Rachael Lee by pinning a bunch of stuff on her son. Like I said, Dayvon serving a 26 to 54 year sentence, where everybody else served anything between probation and 8 years. And one of those people being Brandon Rivas. And Brandon Rivas was actually, so I'm helping Dayvon. Brandon Rivas was actually the one that came to Dayvon and said, hey, it was, do you want to come with me? Come with me to, he was planning on going and buying drugs, a couple pounds of marijuana. Now, if anybody knows anything about weed, and when you're going to try to buy weed, you can't buy a couple pounds for a couple $100. Sorry. And we're going to get into all that. But it's going to be nice to hear from Dayvon. When I say that I have 4,000 pages, I literally have 4,000 pages. It's like over 6 or 7 binders. Then I had to get some of these 13 pocket for all like the different things that he's filed. I got like 6 of these for this case. And I'm putting together a ridiculous timeline of events because you have witnesses lied. But the reason that they lied is because it's more or less like, if you don't testify this way, then we're coming after you. And that would be the 3 white witnesses. Thank you, Aaron. Appreciate that. You got police officers lying. And so what I'm putting together, and it takes a long time to do when you're going through all this stuff to put together a timeline to see what's up. And Dayvon needs new evidence. That could be somebody recanting. It could be new evidence. But at the end of the day, I believe everything that Dayvon's ever said to me because he's owned whatever he's done. He has no problem owning that. He should be a free man right now, just like the rest of those boys. But it was all about getting this one kid, and the way that you get this one kid is you get 4 of his friends to testify a certain way, to take and take a plea deal. So they were never, they pled, no contest or guilty to certain things. But we're going to get into all of that. But you get cops doing and testifying a certain way. You let 3 witnesses lie. And then you give the co-defendants plea deals. And then what do you end up with? You end up with Dayvon 26 to 54 years, and he's been in since 2005. Now think about it. 2005, Jamie Brown stuff was 2001. Okay, so again, they saw an opportunity. And when I say they, Timmy Patrick, he was a detective. He still is a detective. Right now, Timmy Patrick is David Lozier's the DA. He's his bitch boy. But Timmy Patrick was riding the coattails of anybody that was going to further his career. And he did so and kept on furthering his career at the expense of collateral damage. And if you made Timmy Patrick look bad in any type of way, he was not going to forget that, and he was going to come after you, whether it was you or your family or your kid. And that's what this is. We're about to get a call from, we are. He's coming out of yard, so we'll be able to hear from him, from Dayvon. It wasn't just Rachael DelTondo that felt and fell victim of the systematic targeting. It's if people in Beaver County want you, taken care of, put in prison, that's going to happen. So I lived it, and yes, you are correct. Thank you, Alice. I'm so glad that you're here. Again, the reason that this is, I believe in this young man and what he's been through. And he has little girls. He wants to get home. He wants to, be a father. But we're going to hear from him. And this is what Fight for a Family is all about, is being a voice for, it could be people that have done stuff wrong, have done things wrong, and hey, okay, they serve their time, but it's also, Fight for Family is also like, If there's things that you didn't do, you need a voice. When you're in prison, you don't have access to anything. Timmy Patrick looked out for himself. I know him to the bone. Yes, you do. You know him all too well. So yeah, we're just waiting on that phone call. While we're doing that, on November 16th, 2005, at 1:52, this is the affidavit of probable cause for this case. While on patrol in the city of Aliquippa, Officer Donald Lane of Aliquippa Police Department was flagged down by a white male identified as Brandon and a white female identified as Misty. Brandon and Misty stated that they were carjacked by two black males at gunpoint, and Brandon's girlfriend, identified as Jamie, was kidnapped and forced against her will to stay in the vehicle, while Brandon stated that him and Misty and Jamie were demanded to strip of their clothing, with Jamie being demanded to remain in the vehicle. Misty stated that she was also demanded to strip prior to exiting the vehicle. Brandon follows by stating that one of the black males struck him in the head twice with a silver pistol after he was forced to withdraw cash from the Skybank ATM, causing him 2 lacerations. Later that morning, Jamie was found during a traffic stop conducted by Officer Michael McQuaid of the Ambridge Police Department. Jamie was stopped for running through a traffic light. Jamie was found driving the said vehicle with only a t-shirt, no other clothing. Jamie was transported to Aliquippa Community Hospital by medic rescue for further treatment. Jamie said that she was raped in the vehicle by several unknown individuals. After further interview of the victims by Aliquippa Police and Beaver County detectives while at the Aliquippa Community Hospital and the Aliquippa Police Department, it was determined that said vehicle was used during the commission of the several crimes, mainly kidnapping, rape, robbery, and recklessly endangering another person. Based on the information contained in this affidavit, your defendant requests to search a 2002 black Ford Explorer owned by Brandon to search for and seize the following specific items. Any and all, number one is any and all human bodily fluids, in particular semen and blood evidence that may have been, I'm going to leave that part out. The purpose for seizing this evidence would be to transport this evidence to the Pennsylvania State Police Crime Laboratory to be analyzed for blood typing groupings as well as DNA groupings to help identify the yet unidentified suspect or suspects that are being developed in the criminal investigation. Number two is any and all clothing belonging to the victim and or the suspects being developed. The purpose for the seizing this evidence will be to transport the evidence to Pennsylvania State Police Crime Laboratory to be analyzed for the presence of blood, semen, hair, and fiber evidence through blood type groupings and DNA analysts to determine if the victim evidence gathered matches the evidence of the evidence suspects being developed in the criminal investigation. Any and all cellular type telephones that are located in the interior of the vehicle. The purpose will be to gather the cellular telephone records per search warrant application to determine who the yet identified suspects may have called prior to and after the commission of the criminal acts, as well as any fingerprints that may be present. All right, I'm going to put us on pause there. Hello?
Hey, Amanda, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks. Hold on one second. Put them more.
Okay.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Lana? How you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm alright, just maintaining.
Maintaining? Did you go out to the yard?
Well, I was, but the phones was down, so I came back in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for me to ask you what have you been up to is pretty ridiculous. Same old, same old.
Trying to get home.
I know, right? So,
Maintain my sanity at the same time.
right? Are you doing this still all by yourself, right? Because, what do we have? I know I touched your mom. You're pro se right now, or do you still have that attorney?
I got an attorney that did my commutation.
Yeah. I was just going over some of the stuff with this, with a couple of these dispositions. When Brandon Rivas when he took his deal, did he testify against you?
Yeah.
Did all of them testify against you?
Yeah, everybody testified against me.
Okay, because I was going over this probable cause, and Timmy Patrick had interviewed all of them except for you.
Right.
Why did they not see? Was he not able to get in touch with you? Like, why?
No. When they came and got me, Timmy Patrick was in the interview room, but he didn't interview me. No, matter of fact, Timmy Patrick did interview me.
Okay, and you didn't have a lawyer when you were interviewed, right? Did they just come to your mom's, or where'd they go to find you?
No, they came to my brother's college, to Robert Morris, to get me.
Okay.
And then they took me to Moon Police Station.
And that's where they tried to tell you, or at least in these papers, that you were an actual student at Robert Morris.
No, they knew I wasn't a student. Shit, I ain't even had my GED to be a student.
Yeah, no, I'm saying that, but I'm saying the reason that they searched that room, they said that you went to school there. Did you even know that?
No.
Yeah, that's what they put down in they put down that you went to school there, and that was your room.
No, the reason they came to the college to get me was because Clay Boyd told him I was there, and he dropped me off there.
Okay. Interesting. Do you remember going to the Sky Bank that night to take out money?
No, Brandon did.
Brandon, which one? Because there's two Brandons.
Rivas.
Brandon Rivas did?
Mm-hmm.
When
This is a call from Pennsylvania State Correctional Institution. Green. This call is subject to recording and monitoring.
were you with him?
I was in the car.
Yeah. When you guys went to Sheets, was that before or after?
Huh?
When you went to Sheets, did you guys go to Sheets that night?
We went to the Sheets beforehand.
Okay. Beforehand, right?
Yeah. Before we went up to the apartment complex in New Brighton.
Okay. Were you guys ever in a junkyard? To meet, you know how you said you were at AutoZone? Did you guys ever go to a junkyard to wait on any, was a car ever at a junkyard waiting?
No, we waited in the parking lot.
Okay.
In the apartment complex.
Did you kick in the doors at that apartment place?
No.
Did anybody?
We knocked on the door, and two old people came and said they was gonna call the police, and we ran away.
Two old people?
Yeah.
So nobody kicked it in?
No door was kicked in ever.
Yeah. And were those apartments nice or were they shitty?
They was just regular apartment complexes, but the only reason I went back there was because Brandon Morgan was.
This is a call from Pennsylvania State Correctional Institution. Green. This call is subject to recording and monitoring.
He had two guys waiting on there behind there to rob me.
Okay, yeah, so that's what I want to talk about, this rob. So you were at home chilling, and then Brandon Rivas was he came over at around 10:30 or 11 p.m. and said, "Hey, come, I want you to ride with me to go get some weed."
Well, no, he called me to come up there. It was his birthday that day.
Okay.
So when I went up there, that's what my intentions was, just to chill with him on his birthday before I left. I was leaving the very next day.
To go to Atlanta?
And then, yeah, I was going back to Atlanta the next day.
Okay.
And then DeMarcus and
Did you have a gun on you?
No, I I traveled from Atlanta here.
Okay.
I was only up here for 5 days.
Okay. Okay, so...
So,
yeah, so
any
you're...
weapon or anything came from him.
Yeah, so basically, like, you came from Atlanta, see your family, you see them, you end up going over to Revis's because it's his birthday, and then how does it go from kicking it there to being like, okay, we're going to go...
Well, Walker came and Jackson came, and he went to the car to talk to them, and came back and was like, they got a drug deal set up, and he didn't trust them, and he wanted me to go with him.
Because, like, how tall are you?
I'm 5'11".
5'11"?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty strong?
Yeah.
They wanted some muscle? You were the muscle? I'm just playing with you.
They just knew my street reputation, and Brandon was somebody that I grew up with my whole life. That was like my best friend. So
Brandon Rivas was like your best friend?
Yeah, so he trusted me more than he would trust them.
Okay.
To have his back to anything.
Was to like happen.
So I think it was more so about his trust in me to protect him than anything else.
Okay. So then you guys so you weren't driving?
No.
Who was driving?
Munch was. Walker.
Walker? And now that's the nephew of Timmy Patrick? Or cousin?
Yeah, first cousin.
First cousin, okay.
First cousin.
So Timmy Patrick's first cousin, Walker, is driving, and
Jackson was his first cousin.
Jackson, okay.
That was his first cousin too.
Oh, so Jackson and Walker.
Yeah, both of them was his first cousin.
Okay, was Detective Timmy Patrick's first cousin. Okay, perfect. And when you guys, the plan was what? Because remember I kept always saying this. Why did you guys go to the auto zone? That's where you guys were supposed to meet Brandon, and is that what you're supposed to go to meet at auto zone?
Yeah, I was so late into what was going on. This situation had been going on for months now before I came.
Okay.
So I was just under the impression that we was going to meet Brandon Morgan, and they was going to get the drugs from him.
Okay. And so you just hop in, you go. When you guys get to AutoZone, what happens?
Then it was Brandon Reeves told me, come on, we go get in the truck with him and go get this weed.
So did you know Brandon Morgan before that day?
No.
Did you know Jamie or Misty?
No.
Okay. So you get in the car, and now that AutoZone, was that the one in Rochester?
Yeah. As soon as you come across the bridge.
As soon as you come across the bridge there's that AutoZone. I know exactly what you're talking about. Because there is an AutoZone in Alcoba, but that's not the one that you guys went to. You guys went to the one.
No.
Yep.
The one right next to Long John Silver's.
Yep. And so you then get into like that Explorer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Black Explorer.
Where'd you sit when you got in the car?
I want to say the back right seat.
Okay. Then you drive to these apartments where the plan is that Rivas is buying the drugs, which was marijuana, which was, did he ever say how much?
It was supposed to be 3 pounds.
3 pounds. Okay, so perfect. How could, a hypothetical situation here, if you're planning on buying 3 pounds of marijuana, you better have some cash on you, right?
He had money on him.
He had money on him? Okay. So now, if you get there though, and there's not going to be 3 pounds, you could look at that as like, shit, they're about to rob us.
But Jamie Morey told us they was going to rob us.
The girl told you, Jamie told you that, hey, they're about to rob you?
Yeah.
Why did she tell you that?
She told Brandon that.
She told Brandon Rivas that?
Mm-hmm.
When in the truck? She's like, where was Brandon, the other driver, like the white driver, her boyfriend?
He went to. So when we got in the truck, the first thing we did was we stopped at the Sheep. I got some nachos and all that. Because I didn't really take this situation that serious. I didn't think that I wasn't under the impression that we was gonna get robbed, or they was gonna try to rob us, or it was gonna be a robbery, or none of that.
Okay.
I stopped at She's got nachos.
So you get on camera, basically, like you go to Sheets and like you're putting yourself on a camera. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't
Okay.
think nothing serious.
Yeah.
It wasn't. This wasn't something that was planned. That was none of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, exactly.
So I went and got nachos, and then I got back in the truck, and we rolled up to the apartment complex in New Brighton. And Brandon Morgan got out. He was allegedly getting out to go see if the coast was clear for us to come in to buy the drugs.
Okay.
While he was gone, Brenda Rivas and Jamie Moore was talking, and she was telling them, like, "Hey, they trying to rob y'all. Like, just be careful." So when we looked where Brenda Morgan went, it was two white guys sitting in the bushes in the back. So me and Brandon stepped out of the truck. Me and Reba stepped out of the truck, and I said, "Well, when he come back, then we're going to grab him."
Because just Brandon Morgan got out to go say, like, let me see if they're there.
Yeah.
And then that's when Jamie's like, hey, just so you know, they're about to rob y'all.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Brandon Morgan was not in that truck when she told you guys, hey, they're about to rob you guys. Because
No,
Okay. Okay, perfect. So then you were able to see two dudes in the bushes?
Yeah.
Okay. And then
they stayed there all the way up until me and Brandon Rivas got off the truck, and Brandon Morgan came back like, okay, we could go to the house now. And once I grabbed.
Okay, so check this out. I went through all of the line of questioning for all those apartment complexes there in the Discovery.
Yeah.
And not one person, like, they were like, yeah, we heard somebody banging and we heard somebody kick stuff in. So Brandon going over there and saying that everything's ready to go, that was a lie. You get what I'm trying to say? So, like, everything that you're saying right now, it checks out in the Discovery. Go ahead.
So what I seen that once I looked back and seen those two dudes standing back there, I knew, I kind of had a feeling that, all right, he might not went to the houses because it's weird that them two dudes are standing back there in the dark like that in them bushes.
Yeah.
So once I grabbed him, then they ran away, and I told him, all right, well, take me back to the house that you went to. So the apartment that he took me back to was...
You have 1 minute left.
It was dark. No movement was in there, so when he knocked on the door, like, it took a minute for the older people to come to the door. They turned the light on, and they came to the door, and it was like, who is it? Like,
you could just tell right there, like, those weren't the people you were supposed to, you know what I mean?
Right. So that right there told me, like, oh, this wasn't what it was.
This is a setup.
Like, right, it was a setup. So that's when I hit him over his head. Like, and we ran back to the car, to the truck.
Yeah. And then where was Brandon Morgan?
He went back to the driver's seat and drove us away.
So Brandon Morgan gets in the car knowing that you're in this car with a dude that's driving that just said, like, dude, you just try to set us up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Thank you for using Securus. The caller has hung up.
Okay.
Thank you for using
Is he,
Goodbye. Hold on, Linda. He's gonna call right back.
That's what I thought. Okay. He's going to call right back.
Yeah. So I'll call you back in 1 second.
Okay, honey. Okay, bye. We'll be calling right back. The best way to hear a story is from the person that's, that it happened to. This is a prison phone call coming. I'm trying to help Dayvon Cox. I believe him because the evidence shows me to believe him. This is the largest discovery I've ever went through. Is his case because he has a lot of post-conviction stuff. Jamie Brown's had a lot in there though. But this is how this went down. And what they end up turning this into, what the police, aka Timmy Patrick, ends up turning this into, is a fucking sin. That man is going to have a lot to deal with God one day. What's up, girl?
All right, here you go, Lynn.
Okay, thank you.
Hello?
Yeah.
You always hanging up on me. What's up with that? I just...
You know we gotta do this in 15-minute increments.
I know, I'm just playing with you. Okay, so when he was in the vehicle with you and like the way I'd be thinking about this if I was you, this motherfucker just literally set us up. Now we're in the same car as this man and he literally just tried to like rob us.
Yeah, so we're arguing.
Okay.
Like Brandon is really like, he like, Revis is like, he don't really see what's going on unless I'm explaining to him like, yo, like, do you see, like, before Brandon Morgan came back, I said, do you see them two dudes in the bushes? He said, yeah. I said, they ain't sitting back there in them bushes for nothing. I said, so when he come back, I'm grabbing him because there's something wrong with that situation.
Yeah. So guess what? Somebody did testify or like wrote in their in their interview. They said, yeah, they said we saw some guy coming back in like a chokehold, like he had his like head in like a headlock.
Otto testified in court that Marley, that's my cousin, and when Brandon Morgan called Otto to rob us, instead of Otto just saying okay, he called DeMarley and try to get DeMarley to come to him.
Okay. Okay.
So that's how it was confirmed. Like their intentions was to rob us.
Gotcha.
Otto said that at that trial that their intentions was to rob us. There wasn't no marijuana or nothing.
Yeah, they didn't have any weed. They lured you guys there to then when you got there, they knew that you guys would have the money. They were planning on robbing you for the money that you plan on buying with this weed. And
really, I just got to jump on them.
Yeah, you happen to see them, and then the girl tips you off.
Right.
Which, I mean, now that's gonna play in here down the road because when you guys are back in this truck, so like you guys were supposed to go back to this AutoZone. Did you guys ever end up going back to AutoZone? Because that's where your friends, like, I mean, because you're in this dude's vehicle.
Yeah, once we went back to the AutoZone, and Walker and Jackson wasn't there, then our thing was, all right, well...
So Walker and Jackson, the two first cousins of Timmy Patrick, right?
Yeah.
They were supposed to be there because you're supposed to go back there.
Right.
To get back in that car. But they're not there anymore.
Nope.
Because they just dipped out on you. Now,
right.
So my question was, why would they just leave you? Like, where the hell they think that you all went? You know what I'm saying? If the plan was, like, we have to get back in your car, like, why are they dipping out? Remember?
This is a call from Pennsylvania State Correctional Institution, Green. This call is subject to recording and monitoring.
So then, okay, so you go there, they're not there, so then what, you guys decide, okay, well, you're going to have to take us back to Aliquippa?
Right, yeah. We ain't going to get stuck in Rochester with no ride or nothing, so my thing is, take us back to Rochester. But in the meantime, beforehand, in an apartment complex, we went to like some type of auto shop that's on the way back to the AutoZone. Yeah,
it's in here. Yep.
So Jamie Morey was saying, well, he don't have the weed, but he got money in his bank account. It was like so, but this is what she was telling Revis. So she was like, well, he got money in the bank account. So that was Revis' whole purpose for taking him to the bank account.
To go to that bank?
Yeah.
So, like, did they ever in trial use any footage from, like, the ATM?
Yeah. And they showed Revis at the bank.
They show Revis at the ATM, right?
Yeah.
And so you're not at the ATM, so it's not you didn't put in the code to take out the money?
No, Morgan did.
Okay.
Revis took Morgan to the ATM.
Morgan gets out.
Morgan get out, Revis get out, and he's standing behind, in the video show, Revis standing behind him, and Morgan taking out money out of his bank account.
Okay, because, yeah, he tried to take out $500. I have it right here. He couldn't. Then It's at
This is a call from
12:46
Pennsylvania
a.m.
State Correctional Institution, Green. This call is subject to recording and monitoring.
Yeah, at 12:46 a.m. he tries to take out 500. It was denied. Then he tries to take out 300, and it was accepted at 12:47 a.m. And then he tries to take out another 100 at 12:48 a.m. and that was declined. Usually banks would only let you take out like 400 at a time, and that would include like a fee. But I'd have to go back and see how much even money was even in that account.
I wasn't even sure what was taken out of there. I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't ask and shit. I didn't get anything from that.
Really interesting. Okay. So once again, now you would have been on the Sheets camera. Now you're going to be on. Somebody's going to be on this ATM camera. And then now you guys get back in the car because I have the timestamp now. It's at 12:48 a.m. and you're in Aliquippa because it was at the Sky Bank now. So then you go. I think they said that you guys make him get out of the car. What happens next?
So, Misty Martin and Brendan Morgan get out the car.
Did you force them to get out?
No, they got out. Like Brendan told me to drop them off. He got out at his mom's house. And then I drove around the corner. He said take them around the corner and drop them off. I dropped them off, and I brought Jamie Moore with me.
Okay, did you make them strip?
No.
Because I keep thinking about this. They're saying that you made them strip, and I'm thinking, who wouldn't see two white people strip naked and standing there outside in the corner of the street? That's kind of obvious that you get what I'm trying to say. Like, why would that even happen?
But that's not what happened. See, people are saying this because people are under the impression that I was the ringleader in this joint.
Yeah.
I wasn't the ringleader. I had nothing to do with this shit.
I know. I can tell.
All the way up until I got there. And the only reason I went was because my best friend asked me to go.
Mm-hmm.
Like, had this been anybody else, I wouldn't have went. Like,
yeah.
I didn't benefit from this. I didn't get anything from this. Nothing.
And so then, what happens next?
So Jamie came with me, and I brought it back to Quay Boyd's house, and he got this little driveway area in the back of his house that we used to chill at, and I went back there, and they was all back there, except for Brandon, except for Reeves.
Okay, so Jackson was there, Walker was there,
and Carlos Hicks was there.
Okay, Hicks was there, and you weren't like, bro, where'd you go? Like, you just left us?
No, I called him.
Okay.
Because Maury asked me, well, where's Brandon at? So I called him, and I said, bro, she said she want her cut. And he was like, man, fuck that bitch. So I hung the phone up. He like, I'm in front. I hung the phone up and went
She
out.
wanted her cut of the money from the ATM?
Yeah. I guess her thing was she wanted to cut from, I guess they had an understanding that she would get a cut from whatever was going on.
Yep.
So I said, well, what you want to do?
Yeah.
I said, man, fuck that bitch. So I walked in the front, got in the car with him, and we went to his house. I went to sleep.
Yeah. Jesus. And then what was she like trying to help you, like wipe down, like, oh, here, wipe this car down?
So before I left, that's what she did. She was like, well, wipe your fingerprints down. It's some baby wipes in the glove compartment. She grabbed the baby wipes in the glove compartment, handed me some. She took some, and we wiped the truck down so my fingerprints wouldn't be in the truck.
And did she have her clothes on when you like left her?
Yeah.
So when she was like pulled over, which there's conflicting stories. So basically, she passed the Aliquippa Police Department when she would have left. Did she have her phone? Like, why didn't she pick up Brandon and Misty that were supposedly on the side of the road?
You want to know what's funny? She had to ride right past them because the police. If you look at the time that she was caught and you look at the time that they was caught and where they was caught at, they was caught on the corner where the school entrance is.
Yeah.
In order for her to get to go down that hill, she had to go right past them.
Yeah. So it's like, how did she not? I bet you that she saw them and there was a police officer there and she went past because she's like, I'm not getting in trouble.
Right. So she drove past the Aliquippa Police Station. And then she drove across the Enbridge Bridge, and she had to drive past the police station there as well to go to Dayton.
And she gets pulled over because, well, it says here that she was
they put an ATV out on it.
Well, they did that, but then you have conflicting stories because somebody said that she ran a light, and that's why she was pulled over.
Okay, so that too. So that, and then once they ran the plate, then they seen there was an ATV out on it.
Mm-hmm. But they said, you know what they said, that she had nothing on except for a T-shirt.
Yeah, but the crazy thing is, in order for her to get her keys, she had to lift her pants off her keys. Nobody ever took these keys from her. She always had the keys.
And the keys were in her pants.
So in the midst of everything, she much less, and when they got her apple juice, she was thirsty, and much when they got her apple juice, and at the beginning of that whole thing, when we went in back of the house, she told Munch and Rico and Ghost that they couldn't go hard on her because she had a cyst on her ovary and she just had surgery.
So people did have sex, like, but was it consensual?
Everybody asked her. She said in her testimony, everybody asked her and she said yes. But the DA tried to make it out to be that the only reason that she said yes was because of the previous things that happened before.
Yeah, and she said that there was a gun pointed to her.
But she said she never seen the gun.
Exactly, she was lying. Sorry, but it's
right.
just...
She said that she felt something on her side, and my lawyer asked her what was it. She said a condom wrapper. But she's never seen the pistol. She's never seen the gun. I never forced her. Nobody, none of the other guys ever forced her. Everybody asked her, did she want to have sex, and she said yeah.
Was this before or after she said, "Where's Rivas for I want my cut"?
Well, she asked that when we was in back of the house.
And so, like, you're there. She knows like where she's at. So, okay. So then and if she was raped, you have two police departments that you're passing by. She doesn't go to either one of them, right? Nope.
Yeah. Right. No.
And then she had a pass where she had her clothes on. I mean, did you see her? Did she have her pants on?
When I left, Jackson was in the truck.
You have 1 minute left.
So you weren't the last person to see her?
No, I wasn't the last person to see her. But at the same time, if you being raped, you ain't making demands. You don't get apple juice. People don't go. You don't tell people to go easy on you or none of that. This is a violent situation that's occurring, and this is somebody showing that they don't give a fuck about you. So for somebody to take it easy on you or go get you something to drink and all that, this is something that looks like a rape.
Yeah.
And you making demands at the same time.
Yeah. And then and nobody had ski masks on, and nobody, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I never had a ski mask on. Revis never had a ski mask on.
Like, everybody knows each other.
Everybody knows each other. Everybody using their names.
Everybody's using their names, so it's like...
Nobody had a ski mask on. Nobody had their face covered, nothing.
And she never went to the police. She was pulled over because of either
Thank you for using
Oh.
Securus. Goodbye.
The joys of prison calls. I wanted you guys to hear the story straight from the horse's mouth. Everything that he's saying. Where it gets interesting is that the testimonies then all change. That's how I hang up. Peace. Yeah, so I'm going to be explaining a lot more of, obviously, this case. This is 2005. It happened November 15th, going into the night of November 16th, or the morning, rather. And, oh, here we go. Hey, girl.
Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Hello?
Hey. Okay. Yeah, so you go back. Well, Jackson was with her last, and then you go back and you go to sleep, and then did you talk to Brandon Rivas again at that point, or
I stayed at his house.
Okay, you stayed. Okay, got you.
I stayed at his house. The next morning, we woke up, and it was because it was his birthday. Our plans was to go to the mall. We were supposed to go to the mall and drop me off at my brother's college because my plane was leaving that same day. So I had a plane to catch, and so when we pulled off from his house, Timmy Patrick called Rivas, and told him, "Listen, I need to talk to you. You need to come down to the police station." So me and Darius Boyd dropped Rivas off at the police station, and he dropped me off at my brother's college. And the only reason I was still there is because his car had a boot on it, and so I paid to get the boot off his car, and it was taking forever for them to come.
Wait, whose car had a boot on it?
My brother.
Okay.
He the one that actually go to Robert Morris.
Okay, yeah. So.
But Timmy Patrick was Rivas' coach. They was close. They had a rapport. They had a relationship with each other. That's why he was able to just call him on his cell phone to tell him to come down to the police station.
Okay, and so he does. Did Rivas go separate from you to the police station?
Yeah.
Okay, and so he gets interviewed, and in his test, I have his interview, and he's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So that was his first original test. Like, his interview was like.
Well, the only reason they went and got Rivas was because he had already went to the Marcus Walker's house.
Yes.
Him and Rico was at the house, and he talked to them. So that's why Rivas was implemented in that situation, and then he called Rivas.
But see, like, this is my question though: is did Brandon Morgan or Jamie or Misty say one of their names? Because that's what's odd to me.
No. So what happened was Misty Martin and Brandon Morgan went to the police station, and they told the police that two dudes in ski masks came up to their truck and with guns and demanded weed in their truck. So this is the story that they was telling them for hours. So I think it was after like
This
8
is a
or
call
9
from
hours.
Pennsylvania State Correctional Institution. Green. This call is subject to recording and monitoring.
I think it was after 8 or 9 hours that they said that they changed their story.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Yep. They had a different account, and then they changed it because they were gonna be in trouble for felicitating
The drug deal.
Yeah.
But the irony of it all is the fact that in between that time that they was down there, Detective Patrick went to Sheets and seen me in a video, and then all of a sudden they changed their story. So it was like they was telling this story that two dudes in ski masks came and tried to rob them for drugs, and they truck, and then Timmy Patrick went to the Sheets and all that and seen me, and then he came back to the police station, and then their story changed. But one of them didn't identify me, either Brandon Morgan or
they didn't.
But Jamie Morey definitely didn't identify me in the photo lineup.
Yeah, I have actually those. I have the lineup here because she. And so that's how, when he went to the Sheets, because that's where they said, like, just tell me everywhere that you went. Okay, the Sheets, okay, they're going to have cameras. Let me go down there. So Timmy Patrick goes down there, checks the cameras, sees that it's you,
See who it is, period. And then once he realized that it's me, well, he already knew it was me because DeMarcus Walker and Rico Jackson probably told him who I was.
Who you were with?
Yeah.
I'm going to go look at their interviews again, their first interviews, to see what they said. But none of the handwritten notes are here, so it's like when they were typing stuff up, which you could tell, I mean...
well, do you have a statement from Brandon Morgan?
Yeah.
They got auto something on there?
Yep. I'm gonna go. I've been going through all that.
1 minute left.
So, do that describe... That should describe the what was going on in there.
Yep.
I mean, who they was describing.
What was the deals that everybody got? What Brandon Rivas got how many years?
Hold on, babe, is it money on here? Lindsay,
I think she's at work. I feel bad.
Yeah.
is it money on her, babe?
It will be.
I could put money on there.
Hold on.
Okay, babe.
Hold on, Lana.
Okay.
I'm putting it on
The
her.
caller has
I
hung
didn't
up.
check it today.
Oh shit! He said it hung up. So will he just call back then?
Yeah, he gonna call right back.
Okay, hon.
Yeah, I just gotta add the money.
All right, baby. I'll cash app you. Send me your cash app.
No, I got it. Don't worry about it.
No, just send me your cash app.
All right.
All right, babe. Okay. I'll call. Yeah, just call me back.
Okay.
Okay, bye. So this live, you guys are actually like seeing, like, this is like me, how I work during like the day. So this is what this live is like. Basically, like, you get a backseat view of what the hell Lana does over here in this dungeon of paperwork. So you guys are hearing from Dayvon yourselves. This is Dayvon Cox. He's calling from prison, and he's been there a long time. Trust me, I've asked him questions in different ways just to see, like, kid ain't lying. You can tell me what you think. So you could tell me if you think that he's being honest, but I have all of his papers, and there's a ton of them. What they did to this young man, wrong. Hey there.
Hey there.
Okay.
Hello.
Hey.
Yeah. Lana?
Yeah, babe.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what did Rivas get? You got, so there's
Rivas got a 7 of 14.
7 of 14.
DeMarcus Walker got a 1 of 2. And Rico Jackson got a 1.5 to 3. And
Hicks.
Hicks got a 10 to 20 something month hit.
Months. 10 to 20 months.
I think it was something like that.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So I was looking at your verdict read here. Do you know that I have your jury verdict read? Like the actual one. Like, this is like, boom. Like, this is like the one that, like, The juror had a, you know.
Right. So you can see that it looks as though like they was just on some shit like, well, we had to convict them of something because they didn't convict me of 3 kidnappings, but they convict me of the other. They didn't convict me of...
Well, like, okay, like count one. Count one was rape, forcible, no verdict.
No verdict.
Yeah, count 2, rape, no verdict. Count 3, involuntary deviant sexual intercourse, no verdict. Involuntary deviant sexual intercourse, then there's Missy, not guilty. Brandon, not guilty. Involuntary deviant sexual intercourse, forcible, no verdict. Involuntary deviant sexual intercourse, threatened a forcible Misty, not guilty. That was count 1 through 7, not guilty or no verdict. Involuntary deviant sexual, Brandon, not guilty. Then your 3 guilties come in at kidnapping with the intention to facilitate commission of any felony, guilty of kidnapping. Like, I can't even believe this. That was 10 to 20 on the kidnapping.
Yeah.
And then, because you got kidnapping on all 3, Jamie, Misty, and Brandon, 9, 10, 11. Right. And see, like, these jury members, they don't get it. Like, do you even know what you're looking at?
Time comes with that.
Yeah, do you know how much, exactly, you know how much time comes with that?
Because then they ain't do me on, they ain't get me on the other 3 kidnappings.
Yeah, then they go kidnapping. So you were guilty on count 9, 10, 11 for kidnapping those 3 people. Which I cannot believe they found you. If they're going to find anybody guilty on the kidnapping, if you want to say Jamie in the small, but that'd be not guilty on Misty or Brandon because they weren't even in the car. But whatever. Kidnapping with the intention to inflict bodily injury, not guilty. Kidnapping with the intent to inflict bodily injury on Misty, not guilty. Kidnapping with the intention to inflict bodily injury, Brandon, not guilty. Then you get to the robbery. Robbery, count 18. Threatened another with or intentionally put her in fear of imminent serious bodily harm. Guilty with robbery. What did you rob Jamie of?
They said I robbed her jewelry.
Oh, her jewelry.
But I got that from Revis. Like, her and Revis had a situation where it had to look as though she was a part of the robbery. So she had to look as though she was a part of the robbery that she didn't have nothing to do with.
This is a call from Pennsylvania State Correctional Institution, Green. This call is subject to recording and monitoring.
So when that robbery went down, her whole thing was, oh, well then, I have jewelry. You can have this too. And so she gave it to Revis. Revis handed it to me. So when I got caught, I had that on me. But she said this at like.
She said, yeah, she said this in her when she was on the stand.
Yeah.
So you got guilty of robbery for Brandon. What'd you rob him of? Oh, the ATM.
Yeah, but which is
5 to 10.
Conspiracy. If anything, it should have been conspiracy of it, but they charged me with the actual robbery of it.
And then what'd you? Okay, then robbery, physically take or remove property. So you got guilty of this. So that was 5 to 10. Then you got the 10 to 20 on the kidnapping. And now we get to robbery of a motor vehicle, not guilty. Which is weird because I just think that's crazy. I mean, this is why, like, can you just imagine, like, you got people sit on a jury and you're like, okay, here's everyone gets their little booklets. Now go through it. And now you're going to write what you got. Not, so everybody would get this booklet and you were facing 37 counts, okay? And people think, oh my God, 37 counts, that's a lot. Well, because everything is individual. So
my verdict was so like disoriented that
it is.
You could see that they was just grasping for straws, like not really understanding what they was doing. They was saying, all right, well, let's find him guilty of this.
Yeah.
Let's find him guilty of this.
Yes.
There
was no connecting the dots in a logical manner.
State Correctional Institution, Green. This call is subject to recording and monitoring.
And what I liked about when you did your, because you started doing like, your post-conviction stuff. I have it here, what I like that you put in there. There was a handful of things that you put in there. But I want to let me read off the rest of these. You got not guilty for robbery of motor vehicle, which I just can't even. If you're guilty of the other stuff, how are you not guilty of robbery? Oh, here you can have it back. Is it because you gave it back? I mean, I don't know. Crazy. Count 23, sexual assault. of Jamie, guilty, is 5 to 10. Count 24, sexual assault of Misty, not guilty. Sexual assault of Brandon, not guilty. 26, count 26 is carry firearms without a license, guilty, and that's 1 to 10.
But they never found it.
I know there was no gun found. Then did you know that they went back to try to find these shell casings that they said that you dropped out of that you blew out you shot the window and that you grabbed these shell casings and that you threw them out? Did you hear about that?
No.
Okay, so check this out. They went to look for these shell casings. And because they asked Brandon when they called him back in, hey, well, if he shot a gun in your car, there'd be casings. There's no casings in this car.
Right.
And he's like, oh, because he rolled down the window and then he threw him out the window and I heard him clink a couple times on the ground. And I was like, this motherfucking lying bitch.
But the crazy thing is they should have found them in that area, though.
But still, that's what they did. Then Timmy Patrick says, I went back and we took a rake and we scraped it all around looking for these, shell casings, and we couldn't find them.
Right.
Because I don't believe that there was a gun shot in that vehicle. Where would be the gunpowder? Did it test positive for any gunpowder?
No, they didn't test me for any GSR. They didn't test nobody in that car for GSR.
Nobody got tested for GSR.
Nobody got tested for that.
I mean, did Benyo bring that up in court?
Benyo was incompetent as hell. Benyo was on drugs. Benyo was in with the district attorney. Like,
Yeah.
I told you, my grandmother is real light. So when they during my jury situation.
At the beginning?
The district attorney, and Chief Georgie David was out there in the lobby, and he was like, and they was talking about me and my mom, because me and my mom was going to trial at the same time, and they was like, Cox and his mama going to jail, and laughing about the shit. So I tried to get Benyo removed from my case. That's why I went and got the lawyer Todd Hollis, but they wouldn't remove Benyo from my case.
Now, and just so you guys know, Benyo's wife was just murdered this past year, by the way.
And he did it.
So wait, we got carry firearms without license, guilty. Threats, guilty of threats to all of them. Simple assault of Brandon, guilty. Aggravated assault, not guilty. Aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, Brandon. I mean, guilty, 2 to 4, 1 to 10. I mean, this is just... And so this all adds up, and they're like, all right, well, we're going to go ahead, and you're looking at 24 to 56 or 26 to 54?
23 to 54.
So 54, so that means you have to at least serve half of that to be able to be paroled?
Right.
And how many years are you at right now?
I got to serve at the very least 23 years.
Yeah, so how long have you been there?
18.
18, so you're looking at, if you have to go to even have a chance at parole, you have to do another what? 5
years.
5 years.
But Brandon, the person that got the second most time in my case was Revis. He got a 7 of 14. So I've been down damn near 11 more years than he has so far.
Well, yeah, and because he got out. So my question is: Did they ever come and talk to you about Revis in any connection with Gilliam's murder?
No. The only thing they ever talked to me about, the only deal they offered me was a 10 to 30, and they wanted the whereabouts of Michael Ross, he-thing. So the moment I said no about that, I told them to pick 12, and
you told them to pick 12, meaning pick your 12 jurors.
Yeah, I don't have nothing to say to you.
They said, we'll give you 10 to 30 if you tell us where Michael Ross is.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That was their offer.
That was their offer. And then, did they ever disclose, so basically the other guys were like, you're just going to testify against, Cox, and in turn, we're going to give you these sentences.
The deals that they got. Revis was the last one to fall out, and they got him like 3 days before we went to pick the jury. So 3 days before we went to pick the jewelry, Timmy Patrick came down there and talked to Revis in the middle of the night and offered him the deal that he offered him. I tried to get Revis a lawyer and everything, and nope.
Revis didn't have a lawyer?
He had a public defender, but we tried to get him a lawyer.
Yeah.
Todd Hollis would have been his lawyer, but because Revis took the deal, I just took Todd Hollis on.
Yeah. Jeez. And then, wow. Wow. All right. Well, I'm going to be doing some breakdowns of your case with, do you remember the year that Revis got out? The exact year? Because
I want to say 2012.
That's what I thought. Okay. That's what I had, so. Because then they have him, allegedly doing, these bank robberies and stuff. Like, that's what's come out in the news. And then that's why he killed Gilliam and just, because he was, going to turn CI or, blah, blah, blah. So, but there's been nothing in the media. There's been nothing since they said that they were going to be, they put a warrant out for what's his name, for Revis. He dipped.
I don't think he did it.
Yeah, I know. I don't think he did it either. I think I know who the shooter is, but I gotta look at.
I know Revis my whole life, and one thing I know about him, if I don't know anything else, is I know he didn't do that.
He doesn't have a reason. Why would he shoot one of his best friends in the back of the head?
But he don't have it in him to do it anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Would he do it? Would he do it for $25,000?
Nope.
That's what I said. But I know somebody that would. Great.
Brandon ain't that type of dude.
I know.
But I think somebody else told on him to implemented him in that situation.
That's exactly what happened.
And I think if me and you thinking the same person, then they in jail right now. But I think they implemented Revis and to take the heat off their back.
Yep, we're talking about the same person then, 100%.
All right.
And I could almost, and I'm gonna. That's actually gonna be part of the Thanksgiving Day live, or what's like a pre-record that I'm doing. It's to show that, Revis skipped town because he was like a dead man walking, in a sense. Like, you're gonna find me guilty of this, and, but I don't think that he did that at all. And in fact, this is all about other crap. So.
Well, listen. Anytime you need to immediately get in touch with me, just get with Lindsay, because I talk to Lindsay all day, every day. So
all day, every day. I know that's your boo, babe.
That's my wifey. I love her.
That's my wifey. I love her.
That I got going on.
All right, y'all. Y'all leave it on right there.
She a part of.
I know.
Anytime you need me,
I know. I better be invited to the wedding. That's all I gotta say.
That's a fact. If you get me home, you might be.
I might be in the damn one. I'm gonna be in that wedding.
And then you get me my man back, you can be in the way.
All right, you tell him I said I want him to have the best Sunday ever, and I'll be in touch with you later. I'll shoot you some text, Lindsay. I'm gonna go watch my Browns here play, and
Okay.
Much love with you guys. Always praying, and I'm working.
Yes, I do. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, babe. I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
Okay, bye. All right, guys. I am calling it. So go back and start from the beginning. But what you guys just heard is you guys heard straight from Dayvon Cox. And a lot of things are happening with Fight for the Family. Fight for a family. Fight with the family. This man needs to come home. And he's good. He's a good dude. And to be sitting in prison, I just, like, that hurts my heart. That hurts my stomach. But thank you guys. You guys are awesome. Yep, start from the beginning. And I'll be live later. Those of you guys that are following the Delphi case, I'll be live later to go over Anna Williams' interview, the mother of Abby, to break down some of that stuff. So, again, consider being a subscriber on this channel. Also consider being a member of this channel, and Fight for a Family, www.fightforfamily.com. That's the nonprofit, the 501c3. You can do your memberships and donations there. But it's much appreciated. He's not lying. And Timmy Patrick, like all I have to say is just, I hate to be the person like Timmy. I hate to be a person like Timmy Patrick when you would die and have to face God, and because I know you're not going to be up there where I am and where a lot of other people are going to be. So, Octavia, it's Lana at fightforafamily.com. That's my email, Lana at fightforafamily.com. This young man he's like Sheldon, man. You know, nobody's perfect in life, but you don't go around ruining people's lives. And if these guys were white and females and blonde hair, they would actually get attention. And it's sad. So, Lana at fightforafamily.com, that's my email there, Octavia. You take that and you run with it. And then right here, there you go.
My reputation in the neighborhood, I was a scapegoat. Nobody would think that I wasn't the ringleader in this situation because of my reputation. So it was so easy to pin it on me. When Timmy Patrick went to DeMarcus and them that day, they said he threatened them, and this was their first cousin. And who got the best deal? DeMarcus and Rico. So I really don't know, Lana. I really haven't thought into it as much as you are.
Yeah.
From Pennsylvania State Correctional Institution, Green. This call is subject to recording and monitoring.
He was Brandon's football coach, so they had a relationship. Me and Timmy Patrick never had a relationship, even after that shootout.
And this is all because of that Ross?
No, I think it was more so about my mother more than anything. That whole situation with Jamie Brown and all that. And my mom never let Timmy off the hook. I think they